I'm Jeff, the owner of Fierce Play. I wanted to give everyone kind of the background on how I started the gym and how it just kind of all came to be. I started out honestly actually going to school for automotive. I wasn't originally in the fitness industry when I came out of high school. Didn't really know what I wanted to do coming out of high school, and really what I ended up kind of doing was I went to school for automotive in Florida. Once I got back, I was here for maybe about a year and a half, 2 years, and initially I loved cars, and then after working on them for 8 hours a day, I hated it. Didn't want to touch a car, don't really care to work on my own, anything like that. And so what ended up happening was I was actually flying back down to Florida to visit some of my friends from college. And honestly, I'm not a big reader, I'm dyslexic, I kind of slow with it. So but I was really into fitness at the time, and so I was constantly working out, constantly going to the gym, and the whole entire flight down to Florida for 3 hours straight I read just article after article through fitness magazines, trying to learn a little bit more about training and nutrition and all these things. And it was at that point that I really realized that, hey, if it's something that I'm going to sit down and actually read about, like it piques my interest that much, it's definitely something I should go into. And so I didn't really hesitate pretty much at all. When I got to Florida, I started looking for schools kind of to go to for personal training and kind of dive into the fitness industry at somewhere. And I ended up finding one kind of very locally here, National Personal Training Institute. And then basically I decided, obviously, when I went to college for automotive, that didn't really pan out. Didn't really like what I was doing, so I didn't want to just uproot everything. So I went to night classes, and I kept my full-time job. I never got rid of that job at Nissan, and essentially I worked for a while there, 81-hour weeks, starting the gym. But initially I was going to school at night 2 nights a week for 5 hours a night, right when I got done with school, or right when I got done with work. And afterwards, I tried working at Fitness 19 and LA Fitness, and I just, being in the other areas of the fitness industry, the Globo gyms and these other franchise models, I really hated the way that they did things. I just really saw a huge flaw in the system, and I had started CrossFit honestly when I was going to school for personal training, and I was always bench back, bis and tris. I was doing the bodybuilder type of model, skip the leg day. But basically, I ended up really getting to a point where I knew that I wanted to do something more. I didn't want to work for someone else. I wanted to do it myself. And so I honestly I quit both those other places. I kept my full-time job at Nissan, and I quit after about 2 months at Fitness 19, 2 months at LA Fitness. I just knew it wasn't right. And I started training people out of my garage. And my garage was originally where Fierce Play started. Some people are still around. They remember those times. There's some good stories about in there. We were in there for about 6-7 months, and then the winter came around, and in Minnesota it gets to be -30. At times, so I can't be training people out of a garage. And so, I kind of stepped up my game, and I found a space, and our original space was, off 93rd in Osseo, and it was about 1,000 square feet, and that was kind of the origination of the gym, and it all started in my garage. And I had, still to this day, some members, some of them moved away and some of them, got busy, but essentially, it was just a great time. It was really cool. And one of the funny stories about when we were in our garage is, for anyone watching this that knows about this story, I had a kerosene heater because, I had no idea, going into business, how hard it is to find commercial real estate. And, it's not like regular real estate. You don't just find a space like that. The leases are different. So I was stepping into a whole different realm, and you have to get city permits and approvals. So for about a month or two, we were in the garage still, and it was it was just about 0 degrees, and so I had a kerosene heater, and it would go, and I'd be sitting here trying to coach with that noise in the background, talking loud. It was an interesting time, but we've come a long way since then, and I think we're on the right path now, and we've been on the right path for a long time. And that's kind of the story of Fierce Play. We've expanded a number of times since then, had some neighbor problems. We've improved our space over the years, and it's been a ride, but it's a ton of fun, and I love doing it. I couldn't imagine myself doing anything else.